Hello, welcome to another edition of Joss Wants to Talk About Movies. I'm just so happy to be nominated. So, the Academy Awards are debuting on the 25th of April, and we are here to discuss our predictions for who is going to win. Today, we have a panel of people that are pretty familiar with the channel. We have Brian, Delane, Evita, and our newcomer, Nathan. Say hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
All right, so we're going to be playing a little game where we're going to just predict who is going to win in each category of the 24 categories selected, and then the winner gets a grand prize at the very end. What prize? I don't know, but we'll figure that out. And just a reminder, the winner of this is not determined until after the broadcast of the 93rd Academy Awards. So today we're just setting up to see what our predictions are. So for the first pick, supporting actor. Best Supporting Actor, we have Sacha Baron Cohen for Trial Chicago 7, Daniel Kaluuya for Judas and the Black Messiah, Leslie Odom Jr. for One Night in Miami, Paul Raci, is that his name? For Sound of Metal, and Lakeith Stanfield for Judas and the Black Messiah. So we're going to start off with Nathan. What is your pick?
Daniel Kaluuya for Judas and the Black Messiah.
Evita, what about you?
That's also my pick.
Brian?
This category has never been a surprise in the last 10 years. It's Daniel Kaluuya.
And Delane?
That's my pick as well.
Well, I'm not going to be contrarian. I'm also going to say Daniel Kaluuya. I will say, in terms of snubs, I'm a little annoyed that Delroy Lindo didn't get picked. I really enjoyed his performance, but I also agree with a lot of these Best Actor noms that have been picked. So, in the end, I guess that was just an unfortunate choice. All right, moving on to Best Supporting Actress. Glenn Close for Hillbilly Elegy, Olivia Colman from The Father, Amanda Seyfried for Mank, Maria Baklava for Borat 2, and I can't pronounce this name, so I'm going to try the best I can, Young-Jun Yoon from Minari. All right, Brian, who's your pick for Best Supporting Actress?
I'm going to say...
All right, and Delane, who's your pick for this?
I think it will be Ya Jung-yoon.
Delane, what about yourself?
I would like it to be Ye Jung-yoon, but I definitely butchered that. But I think it's going to be Amanda Seyfried.
What makes you think that?
She was the best part of that movie, and I think they're going to want to give Mank something, and I don't think it's going to win much else.
Evita, who is your choice?
I'm gonna say Olivia Colman because she's a gem and she was fantastic in The Father, and I feel like what she won for The Favorite, right, a few years ago, I think with just her track record, it's likely.
And then Nathan, who's your pick?
Okay, I want the grandma to win, but I think it's gonna be Olivia Colman.
Oh, interesting. So we got 2 for Olivia Colman, 1 for Amanda Seyfried, 1 for Young-Jun. I'm also going to pick Young-Jun Yoon from Minari, mainly because not only does she give a stellar performance and one of my favorite of the year, and it's who I also want to win, but she also won at the what is the she won? Wait, the BAFTAs?
Might have been another one.
I thought it was SAG. I thought
in her acceptance, she said that she was impressed that she had won, even though British people are so snobbish. I want her to win by such snobbish people.
All right, let's move on to Best Editing. The Father, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, and Trial of Chicago 7. I'm going to go first and say I think Trial is going to win Best Editing, mainly because we all have discussed the Oscars stuff before, and Nathan, you and I had talked about basically how a lot of Aaron Sorkin style movies have a lot of editing, a lot of flashy editing that goes around the dialogue. And because Trial is very Sorkin-esque, it's a lot different compared to all the other nominees, and I feel like the Academy is just going to be like, oh, well, it's different, that means it's probably the best. So that's my pick for Best Editing. Brian, who's your pick for Best Editing?
I'm kind of split in my decision between Nomadland and Sound of Metal, but I think it's going to be Nomadland. I just kind of feel it. I kind of feel the editing a little bit more.
Evita, who is your pick for Best Film Editing?
I also think it might be Trial. I think it might, just because it's a Sorkin film.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's gonna be my pick as well.
And then Nathan, what's your pick?
Sound of Metal.
Delane, pick for best editing.
I think it's going to be Sound of Metal, but I think The Father would deserve it also. I was really impressed by the editing in The Father. But honestly, I think all of these nominees are really good choices. I won't be disappointed with any of them.
Speaking of sound, as our next category, we're going for best sound. I think this is the first time in a while the Oscars have just boiled sound down to one category. Before it was sound editing and sound mixing. Now it's just best sound in general. And for sound, we have Greyhound, Mank, News of the World, Soul, and Sound of Metal. Delane, pick for best sound. What's your choice?
I did not see Greyhound or News of the World, so I don't know. Can't speak to those, but my pick is Sound of Metal.
Nathan, your choice?
Sound of Metal as well. I mean, just like you go through the experience of a man that is going deaf, and they do it in a very like convincing way.
Evita?
Sound of Metal. I mean, that was just like, I was, like Nathan was saying, I was just very, very impressed.
And then Brian?
The one with sound in the title.
I am also going to go with Sound of Metal. I think out of just all these nominees, Sound of Metal was the one that utilized sound the most to enhance its story, and I feel like that just makes it the most deserved. Now, let's move on to Best Makeup and Hairstyling. We have Emma, Hillbilly Elegy, Ma Rainey's, Mank, and Pinocchio. Nathan, who do you think's going to win Best Makeup and Hairstyling?
This is a category I'm not usually good with.
I've seen two, well, kind of three.
I've only seen one of these movies, but I did see a lot of stills from this specific movie, so I'm gonna go with Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
And Evita, what's your choice?
I mean, I have only seen one of them, but I mean, I've also seen stills, but I'm gonna say Mank, just because I think they did a pretty good job.
Brian?
You know, stranger things have happened than Hillbilly Elegy winning for best makeup and hairstyling, mostly because there's a lot of movies in makeup and hairstyling that are kind of the surprise wins for movies. So I won't be surprised if it wins. However, I think it could end up being Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Didn't Suicide Squad win?
Yes, over Star Trek.
Squad won. Norbit was nominated for this category. You know, you change someone's face enough to someone who gets nominated, then that might also contribute to, you know, and merit its own nomination.
And then Delane, what about you?
My pick is also Ma Rainey. Yeah, I almost didn't recognize Viola Davis right away when I saw her in that.
I would also have to pick Ma Rainey's for best makeup, only just because they really did a stellar job with Viola Davis. Best costuming, and for costume design, we have a similar bunch. We have Emma again, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Mank, Mulan, and Pinocchio. Evita, costume design.
I could say going to Emma.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen Emma, but I obviously saw the trailer, and there is seems like a lot of work.
Nathan, what about you?
I didn't hear very good things about this movie, but whenever I saw a trailer for it, I thought that was a really like cool looking costume. So I'm gonna say Mulan.
Hold on, my cat is in the middle of this. Delane, what about you?
I'm so happy Carmela has joined us. You know, I also didn't see all the movies in this category. But my pick was also Emma. I just didn't feel like the costumes in Ma Rainey and Mank, which were the two that I saw, were as strong as other elements. And I thought maybe, you know, honestly, I was like, I picked those films for other categories, so I was trying to change it up a little bit.
And then Brian, what about yourself?
Tossed up between Emma and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, but that being said, out of the two, I have seen Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and there is a very important sort of moment in the film that revolves around a piece of the costume of Chadwick Boseman's character's wardrobe. Yeah. That does fit a pretty important role within the film, and I think because of a certain importance that has in the story, I think it just kind of nudges a little bit more towards on the majority of maybe for voters.
I would like Ma Rainey's to win, but I put in Mank as best costuming, only because, I mean, there's a lot of period-related costume and clothes that the characters are wearing, but there's also costume party involved later in the movie, and there's also sets involving different actors wearing different costumes. I feel like just costuming in general was a big part of the film, and just making it, and also the fact that it's a period piece really helps with that aspect. So that's kind of just where I'm putting my vote in. Best production, we have The Father, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Mank, News of the World, and Tenet. Brian, what's your pick for best production design?
I think this is where Mank gets its win.
I would also vote Mank as well. Yeah, it's the same argument I'm going to give for costuming. It's of the period, and it looks so much like 1940s Hollywood that I feel like that gives it an edge over the rest of them. Delane, what about yourself?
My vote is also for Mank, but I was tentatively considering Tenet, actually, also. But I haven't seen Tenet, so I feel weird suggesting it. I don't know.
Nathan, what about you?
I'm also going to say Mank.
All right, and Evita?
I'm also gonna say Mank. It's just there.
It's just there. Put that on the title of a poster. Now we're going to dive into animation. We're going to do with Best Animated Short. All right, so for the short films, we have Burrow, we have Genius Loki, or Loci? I don't know how to say that. If Anything Happens, I Love You, Opera, and Yes People. And I will say I have seen none of these Best Animated Shorts, but if I had to pick any from the stills I saw, it's probably gonna have to be Burrow. It looks kind of cute. It's 2D animation. I think 2D gets more favorable for shorts. Evita, what about you?
Burrow, because I have seen Burrow, and it's really freaking cute. With that little bunny bun. And it's also Disney. It's technically the short that was supposed to be before Soul.
Oh, okay.
So, it was really, really cute. And because, like I said, because it's Disney, it's gonna win.
Nathan?
I am also going to say Burrow, and everybody that hasn't seen that should go watch it on Disney Plus after this.
Delane?
I haven't seen or heard anything about any of these except for If Anything Happens, I Love You. I heard it was really sad, which is why I have not watched it. But, knowing now that Burrow is from Disney, I think that's probably going to win.
And then Brian?
Burrow, Disney. That's what I think. I haven't seen any of them, but I know which one is Disney.
If it's done by Disney, it's usually a guaranteed win in terms of shorts.
That's like their thing. It's always been their thing.
And it's 2D animation, like you said. Like, I mean, they rarely do 2D animation now, so.
All right, and then we're gonna go do animated feature film. We have Onward, Over the Moon, Shaun the Sheep, Farmageddon, Soul, and Wolfwalkers. I think we can all just say who's gonna win on the count of three. 1, 2, 3.
Shaun the Sheep. no, it's
gonna be Soul.
In a perfect world, it would be Shaun the Sheep.
Or it would be Over the Moon. I mean, we haven't watched.
I've heard Wolfwalkers is really good.
Wolfwalkers is my favorite.
Wolfwalkers is great, but I think it's going to be Soul.
If you have the chance, watch Wolfwalkers.
Yes.
That studio, really a great animation studio. I think we all locked in our answer, so let's move on to something I know we've all watched. Documentary short subject. So let's go over the list. Colette, A Concerto is a Conversation, Do Not Split, Hunger Ward, and A Love Song for Latasha. Brian, who do you think is going to win?
So my pick is also one that's very easy to watch. It is on YouTube. It is maybe 13 minutes long. I thought it was great. A Concerto is a Conversation. I think not just because it's the only one I've seen, but it does have the makings of a really connecting short subject documentary.
I'm going to go with A Love Song for Latasha. Again, I have not seen any of these, but I've seen a lot of promotional material for this one specifically, and I feel like if your campaigning is really hard, usually you win it for this area specifically. So I'm just going to go for A Love Song. I don't know if it's going to win or not. But I will be... It's on Netflix, so I might get a chance to watch it when I can. Delane.
I also choose A Love Song for Latasha. It's the only one I've heard anything about, which is maybe unfair of me to judge based on that, but I've heard good things. So yeah, I also would like to watch them. I feel bad. These categories I never get around to, but it's not because I don't want to. I just run out of time, I guess.
Nathen and Evita, what about you? You guys were scrambling to find something to look at.
I mean, A Love Song for Latasha is the only one I've heard anything about. So, like Delane, I'm sorry, but I will have to go with that.
Nathen?
Just to not be a broken record, I'm just gonna go with Colette.
All right. Move on to the other documentary subject, documentary feature. We have Collective, Crip Camp, The Mole Agent, My Octopus Teacher, and Time. And again, I've not seen any of these, but if I'm going to go based off my previous decision on just advertising in general, I've been seeing a lot from My Octopus Teacher. It's like everywhere I go on billboards and stuff like that. So I'm just going to cement my pick for that one. Brian?
I'm there with you. A month ago, I would have said Crip Camp, but now I think it might be definitively My Octopus Teacher.
Delane?
Same, for the same reasons.
Nathen, Evita?
Yeah,
Same.
yeah. I've heard nothing but like really great things about it.
Maybe I'll just watch all the because I love documentaries, as you all know.
If you love them so much, though, how come you weren't able to...
I know I should. That's what I keep telling myself every single year is that I just like, I'm going to
Either you watch all just like K-dramas.
Yeah, it's true, but...
And the nominees are Da 5 Bloods, which is one of its only nominations, Mank, Minari, News of the World, and Soul. All right, Delane, pick for Best Original Score.
I am going with Soul.
Brian?
You know, if you're nominated in the same category 2 times, I would go for the one that you've been winning for, Soul.
All right, and then Nathen?
I'm gonna say Mank. I thought the score was really well done for Mank, and it just kind of gave like a really sinister tone to it a lot of times.
It's very noir-esque, like, of the time period.
So either way, we all chose Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross.
And then Evita?
I'm gonna say Soul, just because the music was just so much a part of the story, and it all just like, it was like a perfect, beautiful piece. So
I would also have to say Soul as well. Just like what everyone else is saying, it's such an integral part of the story, and it's very beautiful. And I feel like if it's already being nominated for other music-related areas, then I feel like this one, it would just be a cemented win regardless. So that's my pick for Soul. And then in the same area of music, we're going with Best Original Song, which a lot of these I haven't really heard of before, or they play in the credits and I don't really pay attention to that. Fight for You from Judas, Hear My Voice from The Trial, Husavik from Eurovision, which was a big surprise for me. Losine from Life Ahead, again I don't know how to say that correctly, and Speak Now from One Night in Miami. Brian, Best Original Song, what's your pick?
I think it's going to be Speak Now.
Speak Now from One Night. Okay. All right. Nathen, Best Original Song.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Fight for You from Judas and the Black Messiah.
Okay. Evita?
I'm also gonna say Fight for You, just because I love her and she is my Filipina queen, so I just love her.
I will also pick Fight for You. And then Delane?
My pick is also Speak Now. I just didn't remember the others in their movies, I guess. Yeah, were they all credits musics?
Yeah.
Like,
Husavik is like integral to Eurovision.
That's the only one I remember.
Climax song.
Cinematography. We have Judas and Black Messiah, Mank, News of the World, Nomadland, and Trial, Chicago 7. I'll go first. I'm going to give my pick for Best Cinematography to Mank. Again, it's very stylized of the films from the 40s, very noir-esque. And it's David Fincher, so a lot of his shots, are always like very calculated, very precise. And They're very impressive. It's a very impressive work. Let's move to Nathan. What's your choice for best cinematography?
I'm going to say Mank as well. I share the same sentiment with you. It's a lot of people think like, oh, it's in black and white, it's like super artsy, and it's like, yeah, like 9 times out of 10 that like tends to be the case these days. But I mean, like it also takes a lot to film in black and white. Like, wow.
Evita?
That was also my thought about the black and white aspect of it. Like, there's always a lot of talk about, watching things in black and white, and it's hard to do it well.
Brian?
I think it will be Nomadland.
Any particular reason why?
Just it's. I mean, for similar reasons that people think Mank. I think to make something look stunning. I think most of the time the cinematography in these categories are all incredibly like standing on their own, spectacularly shot films. But that's just kind of thing I feel. Just big wide shots in Nomadland that reveal to you a bit of the scope.
Delane, what about you?
I loved the cinematography in Judas and the Black Messiah, but I think it's going to be Mank.
Okay. Yeah, Judas actually had some great shots as well. I think I remember specifically like a couple within when Lakeith Stanfield's stealing the car. I think there was a couple good ones in there.
Yeah, I was thinking of too. Yeah, that's when I was like really impressed with the movie. Like already I was impressed with it. And it just got better from there.
Visual effects. All right, so visual effects, we have Love and Monsters, Midnight Sky, Mulan, the one and only Ivan, and Tenet. Delane, best visual effects.
I have seen exactly one of these films nominated, and it was Midnight Sky, and it was bad. So my pick is Tenet for this.
Okay. Nathan?
I am also gonna go with Tenet. I mean, it's Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Evita?
For that exact reason, because it was a toss up between Mulan and that, but I was like, it's Christopher Nolan, so yeah, Tenet.
Brian?
I think Christopher Nolan's head would explode if Tenet was not successful and he'd lost the Oscar in this category. I think they want to prevent that, so I think they're gonna go Tenet.
Yes, I'm gonna also go with Tenet. It relies a lot on practicality as well. And I think just like the effects that are used in the film are like important and integral to the storytelling. All right, now we are in the screenplay category. So where is that? All right, we have Borat 2, The Father, Nomadland, One Night in Miami, and The White Tiger. Delane, best adapted screenplay.
Nomadland.
Nomadland. Wow. Any reason? No reason? Okay. Just felt it. Brian, best adapted screenplay.
I'm kind of feeling The Father.
Okay.
I can't really explain why, but that's sort of what I'm feeling. I think if not The Father, then probably Nomadland. But I think my lock is going to be The Father.
What is that? Okay. My pick for best adapted screenplay is One Night in Miami. I have not seen the movie, but I just feel like, I don't know. I have this hunch that it's going to win. That's all it is. That's all I'm putting into it, is just a hunch that it's going to win. And that's what also Carmela told me. Nathan?
El Padre.
And then Evita?
The Father.
Okay. Well, now I feel like a schmuck. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
You said El Padre. I didn't know what that meant.
I think y'all convinced me. I'm going to switch it before we end this category. I'm going to also pick The Father.
You kind of thought for yourself because Carmela told you that one.
Yeah, that's true. She didn't really know what she was talking about.
She saw One Night in Miami, though.
Also, I just don't want to dispel the fact that once again, Borat got nominated again for Best Adapted Screenplay, and I just got to say bravo. Good job, Borat. I wish.
Longest title of any nominated.
Will they say the title at the Oscars?
I hope so. I don't think they will.
I want them to say all the alternative titles. All right, Best Original Screenplay. We have Judas, Minari, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, and Trial of the Chicago 7. Brian, who is going to win Best Original Screenplay?
I think that it's going to be Aaron Sorkin.
Okay, just because it's Sorkin?
Kind of, yes, but Promising Young Woman did win the WGA. I don't know if Trial was nominated, but I still think Trial.
Okay. Evita, Best Original Screenplay. Who's going to get it?
I'm gonna say Minari, just because it's been getting a lot of traction. Well, like, there's been a lot of buzz about it, and the fact that it's like based off of the director's life and like his time and his family, and like I just think because of all the buzz around it, there's a good chance that the Academy might lean that way.
All right. Delane, Best Original Screenplay. Who's going to get it?
I think it's going to be Trial of Chicago 7.
Nathan, your pick.
I'm gonna say Judas and the Black Messiah. I think that's a really interesting way to do a biopic. I don't think anything quite like that has been done. Like, it's about Fred Hampton, but it's also about, I forget what the other character's name, Lakeith Stanfield's character, and like those two worlds collide. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
I'm going to pick kind of the same with Brian Delane. I'm also going to pick Trial. Aaron Sorkin has had pretty much a good rapport with the Academy. Most of his screenplays get nominated. He's won a couple of times, I think. Yeah. So I wouldn't put it past him winning it.
So quick fact check, Trial of Chicago 7 was nominated for a Writers Guild Award, but lost to Promising Young Woman.
Interesting.
So it was nominated.
Surprise.
But we could have this could be an interesting win.
Who knows?
I certainly love surprises every time. I don't want to be wrong, but I like surprises at the Oscars.
Now we're going to Best Short Film Live Action. We got Feeling Through, The Letter Room, The Present, Two Distant Strangers, and White Eye. Have any of us seen the Best Short Film Live Action? No? Okay. How I'm going to determine what wins Best Short Film is based off the subject matter it's presenting. And from the ones that I've skimmed over, Two Distant Strangers feels like it might be the most relevant to today's issues about African Americans, their relationship with the police. So I'm just going to put that in there as the winner, just for that reason. Nathan, your pick for Best Live Action Short Film.
I'm gonna say White Eye.
What is that one about?
Sounds cool.
Nice. Brian, your pick for Best Live Action Short Film.
So the short I was thinking of was Two Distant Strangers, and it's because of the image of Oscar Isaac with a big mustache. I didn't know what it was about before you said that, and that was the only thing I knew about it.
Brian, I think that's The Letter Room, not...
So if it is The Letter Room, which what I thought it was at first, then I'm just gonna say that.
All right, Evita, Best Live Action Short Film.
Whichever one you were talking about has Oscar Isaac in it.
All right, and Delane?
I have heard almost nothing about any of these, but I'm going to go with The Present.
Any reason?
Nope.
Okay.
I never know what to pick for this category. I usually do the Nathan approach and pick the title that sounds most interesting, but I figured I'll go a different direction than the rest of you, and
Wouldn't it be hilarious if we all kind of tied, but Delane had the edge because she just picked this one category right?
That would be so great. I would rub it in your faces. Haha, film
Like
snobs.
the highest vindication that could exist.
All right, we got 5 categories left, and we have Best International Feature Film. We have Another Round from Denmark, Better Days from Hong Kong, Collective from Romania, The Man Who Sold His Skin from Tunisia, and Quo Vadis Adia from Bosnia-Herzegovina. Evita, Best International Short Film. Best International Feature Film.
The Man Who Sold His Skin, because that sounds cool.
I'm going to go with Another Round, mainly because it was nominated for Best Directing. Brian?
I'm going Another Round for the same reason. Usually if it's nominated in another category, it's more likely to win in that, especially if it were nominated for Best Picture. That's common too.
Well, I didn't know
also,
that.
Do you want to change your answer? You can.
Yes, I change it.
Delane, best international film.
I think it's going to be another round for all of the reasons previously stated, but I've heard that some people feel like, I'm going to butcher this, Quo Vadis Ada was snubbed for some other of the higher categories. So maybe that will be like a surprise, but my vote is still for another round. So.
Nathan, look very smug there.
Another round.
Now we are in the final four. We have Best Director. So we have another round with Thomas Vinterberg, Mank with David Fincher, Minari with Lee Isaac Chung, Nomadland with Chloe Zhao, and Promising Young Woman with Emerald Fennell. Interesting that two women are actually in this category for Best Directing, which I think is a first. So good on that.
New.
Happy to hear that.
Nathan, pick for Best Directing.
Well, I can't speak for Nunu, but I'm gonna say Zhao
Okay.
because I think this is her third feature film, and like I've seen them all, and she's progressively just gotten better and better. Yeah, this is it takes a lot to work with, I think, like non-professional actors and make this kind of movie as real feeling as it is. So it takes like a certain like deft touch to that. So yeah, definitely Zhao.
Delane, Best Directing. What's your choice?
Well, my pick is also Chloe Zhao, but I think Nathan just explained it like so perfectly. Like I definitely feel exactly the same way. So.
Brian?
Chloe Zhao. I think that at least as far as this film and the writer, there's just something so mesmerizing about her perspective of real people and telling their story, showing someone's life, so to speak, and their passion, their sense of individualism that is kind of personified in a film. And it's like I said, it's mesmerizing. And I think it's, it seems pretty, she's also won everything else. So it's hard not to fight against that. But, stranger things have happened before. It's the Oscars.
And Evita, what's your pick?
Do I even have to say it? Yeah, of course I'm gonna say Chloe Zhao, just because Brian and Nathan said it so perfectly, and women, Asian American women.
I am also picking Chloe Zhao. Same reason. I think there's a sense of authenticity when it comes to, especially this movie. You're getting, like what Nathan brought in before, non-actors to act. And that's a lot of work for a director to do and make that come across as realistic. So that's a lot of props already there. And I feel like it also just gives a sense of it being it makes it more genuine of a film, talking about this kind of subject matter. Now we're going into Best Actor in a Leading Role. And our nominees are Riz Ahmed from Sound of Metal, Chadwick Boseman from Ma Rainey's, Anthony Hopkins from The Father, Gary Oldman from Mank, and Steven Yeun from Minari. Steven Yeun, the first Asian American man to be put in the Best Actor category, which is very interesting after 93 years, but, better late than never, I guess. So congratulations to him. I also love Steven Yeun, and I hope that he gets more leading work in the future. Let's go to Evita. Who do you think is going to win?
It's going to be Chadwick Boseman. I haven't seen the movie, but I just he's already won many awards. And the fact that he gave that performance all while
suffering from
cancer. That is so crazy that he was able to put on a performance like that while he was in treatment. So applaud him.
Delane, Best Actor in a Leading Role.
I also agree with Chadwick Boseman. I think his performance in that film was so incredible. It was the best part of the movie, and it was a fantastic movie. So saying that is a huge thing. The final few moments of the film are some of the best acting I've ever seen. And I got really sad about that we've lost him, you know. Yeah, and like Evita said, you know, he was to be so ill and still be able to give a performance of that caliber is incredible. So he absolutely deserves it. But I also think that all the other nominees in this category, maybe not so much Gary Oldman, but everybody else, you know, also did a really great job.
I do want to mention that, you know, Riz Ahmed is also in this category, and I fell in love with his performance in Sound of Metal, and I really love Riz Ahmed as an actor in general, and I'm glad he was nominated. But I do also believe Chadwick Boseman is going to win for Ma Rainey, not only just for the fact that it's a stellar performance, and not only for the fact that, you know, he was suffering a lot while doing it, but, you know, he's just a very talented actor, and I feel like a good send-off to him would be for him to win this award. Brian?
I think it will be Chadwick Boseman. I know it will be Chadwick Boseman. This is a really powerful swan song performance, but I think that it also stands on its own, minus the tragedy.
I also agree. Nathan, pick for Best Actor in a Leading Role.
Yeah, this is a super competitive category with the exception of Gary Oldman. I just want to say his like role in Mank is like stupidly similar to his role as Winston Churchill and
Yelling and drinking.
yeah, he's just an old guy that's just like milling, drinking, and like bitching a lot, and gives these long-winded monologues. So I'm gonna say Chadwick Boseman, but I really wanted it to be Stephen Yeun.
Can we also just acknowledge how adorable and sad Anthony Hopkins was in The Father?
He was incredible in that film. I was really honestly like, I mean, I think all the categories that The Father is in, it's just there's another nominee that just takes it away from it. But it's
the wrong
good.
year.
It's such a good movie.
All right. We went from actor, now we're going to actress in a leading role. We have Viola Davis from Ma Rainey, Andra Day from United States versus Billie Holiday, Vanessa Kirby from Pieces of a Woman, Frances McDormand for Nomadland, and Carey Mulligan for Promising Young Woman. All right. Brian, Best Actress in a Leading Role. Who's going to get it?
This is the one I've been thinking about the most. I'm very unsure. I kind of feel like it's a three-way toss-up for me between Viola Davis, Andra Day, and Frances McDormand. But I think if I dig deeper, I think it's between Viola Davis and Frances McDormand. They've both won already. McDormand's won twice, but Viola Davis hasn't won in Best Actress before.
An African-American woman hasn't won Best Actress since 2002. And before that, no African-American woman has won.
Was that Halle Berry?
Yeah. It was Halle Berry from Monsters Ball.
I will say Viola Davis.
Nathan, Best Actress in a Leading Role. Who is going to win?
Frances McDormand.
Frances McDormand from Nomadland. Wow, okay. Any particular reason why?
She's the shit.
Evita, Best Actress in a Leading Role.
I'm gonna say Frances McDormand too. I also haven't seen Ma Rainey, but I mean, I just love Frances McDormand. So.
Okay, and then Delane.
This was a tough one. I definitely agree with Brian. It was a tough category to pick. I think all the performances are great. I think the performances pulled out of the films, you know, because I think like United States versus Billie Holiday, it's not a good movie, but Andra Day does a great job with what she's given. And, you know, Viola Davis is a force in every film she's in. But I think it's going to be Frances McDormand. Something about her performance just really, it's very intimate in a way I think that not a lot of performances can really achieve. And like somebody said that like the film wouldn't have worked without her. Like she's like the choice for that role. And she just absolutely knocked it out of the park.
And she is one of my favorite actresses of all time. I root for her every time, except for this category, because I'm going for Viola Davis from Ma Rainey. She just transforms herself into this completely interesting, unique character. I don't really see Viola Davis in her. I see like the character she's playing. I just really think she really carries the film. It's kind of like a Silence of the Lambs moment where she doesn't really have a lot of screen time, but when she's there, she really holds everyone's attention. That leaves us with the last category, Best Picture. We have 8 nominees. We have The Father, Judas and the Black Messiah, Mank, Minari, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, and The Trial of Chicago 7. Evita, who is going to win the Best Picture?
Nomadland.
Nomadland. Any reason why?
It was just a fantastic film. I just like, it's crazy because, I mean, obviously I would want Minari to win, but I just think Nomadland just has something over it. I don't know what it is. I just have this feeling that it might be a Nomadland.
Nathan?
This I struggle with a lot. So I'm gonna say that it's probably gonna be Nomadland because considering it, like the film's subject matter and with like everything that's the fallout of COVID-19, a lot of people lost their jobs and their livelihoods and like don't have homes anymore. So I think like that this film and its like message really hits home for a lot of like people, like not just in the States but like internationally as well. So it's subject matter plus like strong performances, like directing and everything, etc.
Delane, your pick.
I think it's also going to be Nomadland. I think it's really topical for America today. It reaches a wide audience, and I think, like Evita said, it's a fantastic film.
Brian, your pick for Best Picture.
Am I the only one who just now learned that Hubie Halloween wasn't nominated?
Yeah, okay. I gave you so much time to prep, Brian.
I mean, the list has been out for a while.
I really thought that I had seen all of them. I think it will be Nomadland also. Strong handful of Best Picture nominees here. Yeah, there's not much else I can say that hasn't already been said.
My favorite of the year was Minari. It was I just really fell in love with that movie. I fell in love with the characters. I don't think it's going to win as much as I want it to be. And looking at all the other nominees, I don't think it's going to win. However, you do look at a lot of what is picked for Best Picture, and it usually the subject matter, it has to resemble a lot of like current issues or issues of that year. I'm going to pick Judas and the Black Messiah. I think it's a very audience-pleasing movie, and not only is it an audience-pleasing movie, but it's also a very well-made movie. I think the topics that it goes over explores a lot of the issues that people are facing. I think it's very relevant, and that is why I'm picking Judas and Black Messiah for Best Picture. Anyways, thank you all for playing this game with me. It was really fun talking about the Oscars with you guys on and off camera. We always talk about this kind of stuff, so it's always just nice to bring us together and explore that a little bit more. The Academy Awards are debuting on 25th of April on ABC. The winner will be declared after the broadcast, so we'll figure out who out of all of us is the best at determining what the Academy likes.
Did the lowest scored person die?
Lowest scored person will never watch movies ever again.
Oh, you guys.